The federal government is collaborating with the European Union to use technology to unlock great potentials to revive Nigeria's economy. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Ute Naji, has revealed this at the just concluded Nigeria EU Innovation Day seminar in Lagos. And Naji said that the collaboration between European Union and the federal government would help to enhance research in technology innovation, would help to advance technology development, and would also help unlock Nigeria's potentials to explore the world of technology. The minister, who was represented at the event by the Director General National Space Research and Development Agency, NASDRA, Dr. Matthew Adepoju, has said that technology innovation remains the engine of economic growth for any nation. And looking at the state where Nigeria's economy is now, we need every help that we can get to take us to where we're supposed to be and take us out of this recession that we are at the moment with all the hunger and everything around. But you know, when I went through this story, Dr. John, I was looking for the steps that the government would take to in this use of technology to improve our fiscal system, to improve our economy. They kept telling us about the importance, the benefits that we would have if we make use of technology in helping our economy at the moment. But we didn't get to see steps that will be taken. Oh, we're going to give certain students scholarship, or are we bringing these guys from out of the country to come train us? What exactly are we doing? And I searched on my research, I did not find anything on that. But let me get your thoughts on this move by the
technology.
federal government.
I think the federal government is right in partnering the EU. But the only problem is that, you know, in terms of technology transfer, Nigeria has not benefited so much, except in the telecoms and banking industries. Yes. But there are steps the federal government can take to deploy technology to, you know, enhance transparency practices. Today, the federal government can come up with a law that all states should use a particular package. I know in Bayelsa said there was a time we were using Oracle, the Oracle software to pay salaries. So the software automatically detects double salary. If your name appears twice on the payroll, it will detect it and pick it, remove it. Yes.
So you said they used to.
Yes, I don't know if it is. So the federal government can come up with a law that, see, the whole of this country, we say it's a big country, the whole of this country can be wired by technology. In America, you can see, when they are conducting elections, America's population is about 357 million, which is far above that of Nigeria. But when they are voting, for instance, New Orleans, Milwaukee, Ottawa, as you are voting, as one vote comes in, it is recorded in the central computer. Yes, it's recorded. Because everywhere is wired. Technology is involved in everything.
When we talk about voting system.
No, that is I'm
just something that.
No, that is just an example.
We used to hear these things a lot until I was actually a part of this when during our youth service. During my youth service, when we were part of those corpers that were deployed to some of these.
Yes.
Oh my God. We saw things that we
so anyway,
imagine we actually use technology in that aspect. It's going to go a long
So the federal government can come up with a law that as part of a way we can enhance or boost the financial transparency system, every state, the federal government can come up with a software that can make states to pay salaries in a transparent manner. For instance, I've mentioned the Oracle. There are more sophisticated programs like that.
So what has been our limitation in
our limitation is number one. Even if we deploy this Oracle to pay salaries, there are human beings that operate in it. Number two, what if somebody is operating Oracle and he decides to say, oh, the software has problems, so we cannot use Oracle again. And they bypass the Oracle software. It's a problem.
We are our own limitation.
Number three, the oracle, you need power to power. Do you know what? You know, I started computer business way back in 2000. But what discouraged me? We are into computer training. What discouraged me was power. I spent a lot of money on the generator there. After some time, it will collapse. At a point, you begin to regret why did I go into this kind of business and so on. So apart from the oracle, you need power. Infrastructure to power the oracle. In that case, you also need up-to-date computers to operate it. Have you seen that sometimes when things are done in such a transparent manner, before you know it, they will say there was fire outbreak. Some unscrupulous elements who believe that their economic interests have been circumvented, shall change, will go as far as, you know, committing arson.
What is from all of these things that you have mentioned, it
yes.
simply means that you are one of those Nigerians who have taken your eyes off this even working, because you have made mention of various things that could come up as negativity
yes.
towards putting an end to what we have started concerning technology advancement. But then, how far do we see this talks with the European Union going?
The European Union cannot come and do anything for us. The highest thing the EU will do for us is to give us expertise, to transfer the technology by way of training and research. But ultimately, it is the Nigerians that will operate the system. Nigerians will operate the system. So, getting the sophisticated software and all of that is ICT infrastructure. Then training our people to be able to operate those infrastructure. But there is something we can do to ensure that the financial system is a bit transparent. I always make mention of the case of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala before she became the finance minister. Allocations given to states were not published. Today, even the allocations given to each of the 774 local governments, the allocations are published. So one way we can enhance transparency is to publish those things, publish them, and in a way get the states. There are some popular languages, dialects or language in the states. Get them to tell the news in their languages, so that people understand that in so month, River State or Bayelsa State or Delta State receive the sum of so amount of what money. That said, there should be periodic auditing. Periodically, people should be asked to audit the accounts of local governments, state governments, and MDAs and so on.
Let's talk about
but on the whole, our main problem is the human problem. Human beings, if Nigerians decide to say, okay, let us grow the economy, let us strengthen the financial system, they can do it. Yes. But again, because of this, our psychology, the psychology of every Nigerian is shortcut. I want to make money. They don't want to wait for their salary. They want to dupe the system. So that is the problem we have.
Let's look at this administration now, the current administration. Even though this administration, the way they actually started and the policies they started with, some Nigerians did not really embrace it fully because of the effect that it had on us as a people. But then let's also look at some other things or steps that have been taken by this administration that the people have lauded. Let's talk about the local government autonomy that
fantastic.
A lot of people have been celebrating the president for.
Yes.
Let's also talk about recently, that was yesterday, we heard in the news that bags of food products have been distributed to the various states and the FCT to cushion the effect of the hunger in the land, and probably some other things that this administration has done. And it looks like they're taking steps, and now we're looking at the federal government, partnering with the EU to improve the economy using technology. Do you feel like this administration would have the political power, the political will to pull through or to move to make sure that this is a reality?
I hail the local government autonomy law that has been stated by the Supreme Court. That one is good. But you also look at some other terrible laws they have made. First of all, you are increasing school fees. If you want the average Nigerian youth to live peacefully and to enjoy, provide those little things that will go around. It does not make sense for the federal government to say, we are bringing food. I mean, it's funny. You are bringing food to who? Where are you going to keep the food? In government house? When you know that if a particular state is PDP state, you know that all those bags of rice will be distributed to PDP members.
So you're saying that politics will come into giving food
that
to
is
the
what
hungry?
that is what has been happening even during the flood. For instance, in Bayelsa State, even during the flood, did you not hear the report? Food items, Indomie and so on, we are kept in a warehouse until the youths were tired. They said we are hungry. They had to boggle the place.
You mean during the lockdown?
Not lockdown. After the 2022 flood. Okay. Food items meant for people.
Because we know we saw that during the lockdown.
Food items were kept in warehouses while the people were hungry. So the federal government should do more than that.
But this is a different administration.
That is what I'm saying. It was under this administration that this thing happened. Food items they brought.
2022.
2023 now. The food items they brought to the states. They were boggled last year, 2023. That was when Tinubu has been in office.
So you see that playing out with this bags.
It has been playing out every now and then. Even during the COVID era, when they brought drugs, the drugs were given to selected people. Even though they asked them to go and take injection and so on, most people did not have the awareness. So,
but we have the system on ground to share these things. We have the state government, we have the local government, we have the traditional rulers. We have all of these ways that which we can channel these things, and therefore the poorest of the poor.
What I'm saying is, distributing food to the people will not have a trickle-down effect at all. They will hijack it. Government at the center will hijack it. If you send it to local government, worse. Because they will give it to their brothers and sisters.
What about the 50,000 naira that the
have you received it?
Government is sending to Nigeria? We have not heard. What do you mean by I'm a low income earner? What kind of statement is that? Look at. We have not heard. No. You have to correct that. But we have not also heard that Nigerians have begun to, or are already beginning to receive the 50,000 naira. The last time I heard news on that was that the 50,000 naira would be distributed to Nigerians.
Have they distributed the money? How many people have come to tell you that they have received it? See, all those are rhetorics. Let us go beyond rhetorics. What we are saying is, the government should do those things. Take, for instance, take healthcare seriously. Nobody is after whether you are distributing. You don't need to distribute money for people to have welfare.
So the government should not distribute food. The government should not distribute money. What do we expect the government to do now?
Number one,
that would cushion the effect immediately.
That is what emergency. You have removed. You deliberately removed the subsidy on petrol.
Which some Nigerians wanted.
Who wanted it?
Nigerians clamored for it.
Before you see, we clamored for it, but before you remove it, certain preconditions have to be met. Those preconditions were not met, and subsidy was removed. Today, there's cost of living crisis. Now, fix our health system.
Is that an emergency measure?
Listen, people are dying every day. You are talking about the cost of living crisis. Not just on, was it 2 days ago? A lady who apparently was bleeding. I don't know if it was as a result of a childbirth and so on. They took her to the hospital. They say, you have to pay money. And she bled, and before they knew it, she had bled to death. Before she was taken to the theater, these are the things. Set up, ensure that you fix healthcare to the point that even locals, those who are living in rural areas, can have access to healthcare. Number two, provide good, clean drinking water. When we were in the secondary school and primary school in those days, especially in the 80s, tap water was common. You can go to, there was tap water everywhere. In Port Harcourt, listen, in Port Harcourt then, let me cite an example. We are living at Uruala. In Port Harcourt then, that water treatment plant in that area was serving the whole of Jobu. There were taps in homes and so on. So provide clean drinking water. Number two, make education as easy as possible for the ordinary man.
What do you mean easy?
Easy means reduce the school fees people are paying from the primary school to the secondary to the university. The number 4, ensure that when we were in the secondary school, anytime you leave Nimbe and come to Port Harcourt, these Tata buses, big Tata buses, if you are below 15 years, when you bought any Tata bus, you bought it for free. They were not going to take money from you. These are things we had done before.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. John.
Yes.
The local government allocation, the state government allocation and all of that, what are they for?
I should be asking you now because I am telling you that these people are just sitting down.
Because we've talked about what the federal government should do, right?
Yes.
And you have mentioned water, you have mentioned healthcare and all of that. And I'm asking you, the funds that the federal government have released to the state governors and the local government, what is it for? I
am indirectly talking about the entire government, from the federal to the state, and from the state to the local governments. What I am saying is that if the federal government can show good example, there is a way the federal government can either persuade or compulsorily impose our policies on states. You know that. It's possible. Look, this is what the federal government is doing. States, this is what we want you to do. Embark on massive housing to bridge that housing deficit. It is possible. Today, you see people, real estate owners and so on, every day they come to the TV, they come to the radio stations to advertise. They are building houses, come and buy land. When you buy land, there's an estate coming up. All these are things the states, the state governments and the federal government were doing in those days. In Abuja then, there are housing estates, houses built by the state government, by the federal government. So what I'm saying is, the federal government, we don't need distribution of food. You are joking with Nigerians.
Rice.
What kind of, how many people will you give rice?
You're not speaking for every Nigerian.
If we are talking about a population of 230 million, how many bags of rice will you distribute to ensure that everybody...
No, they said it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It's for the politicians.
No, it's for the poor.
It's for the politicians.
Who are
How do
actually
you...
hungry and need it.
They should not joke with Nigerians. I am a civil society man. Who is a poor man? Have they been able to identify the poor?
And how are they able to identify? I was going to ask that question.
Are they able to identify?
A lot of times we hear it's for the poorest of the poor.
Poorest of the poor.
How do you identify the poor and then the poor? Is it written on our BVN, or do they check our accounts to know, okay, this person is the poorest of the poor?
The federal government that does not even know if there are ghost workers in the payroll of the federal civil service.
How do we identify? Because there are actually times when these distributions have been made and we heard that they were giving. I'm not even talking about the process now or this news which have told us that they are out there, right? Yeah. We're talking about times when we've heard that they have received. So the poorest of the poor have received these items. I was like, how were you able to identify? Okay, wait, remember that we have the local government system, right?
Yes.
So are we saying that the traditional rulers cannot identify the poorest of the poor in their community?
The traditional rulers for now, except they make a law to that effect, the traditional rulers for now do not have any constitutional responsibility. Yes.
But it doesn't mean that the government cannot pass through the traditional rulers.
We are talking about local government chairmen who only visit their headquarters, their offices on paid days. Why are they going there? They are going there to ensure that the cashier and the accountant do not steal the money. After the payment and so on, they come back to the city.
Sometimes we've had communities receive these things. I mean, we had the community chief the other day.
Did your community receive it?
We had a community chief the other day who told us on this show how sometimes these items get to his community and is given to him to share.
If there's a political party and I have people, they are a community leader, and they bring it to me, it does not mean they are giving it to other community leaders. All
right, let's
take
some time off right now. When we return, we have other stories that will make us argue here in the studio and it will be a real blowout. Please stay with us on ATN.